Hello everybody, welcome to my channel. Today's video is not a demo. Today's video is going to be more of an information type video. So I'm going to talk about different Salesforce licenses and what's the bare minimum you need to get started in building apps in your Salesforce platform. And this is a very beginner's video, but I think many admins also can benefit from this if you're just getting started in the Salesforce ecosystem. Um, so before even talking about licenses, let's talk about additions. Now, the reason I want to bring up additions is because sometimes some Salesforce licenses are depending on what type of addition you have. So, for example, right here we can see that knowledge only user is only available for these certain additions, right? If you have any other Salesforce addition, you might not be able to use a knowledge only user license. So it's very important to know that difference. So to find out what addition you are in, go to setup and start typing company information, and you should be able to see what is your addition type. If you are enterprise or unlimited, you should have availability to any license you want, but obviously you need to talk to your account executive to get those licenses assigned to your org. Um, okay, so what is the bare minimum you need to get started with an app development? The answer is it depends on your edition, and it has mostly nothing to do with your license, unless it's a community license. We'll get back to that in a second after we cover all the different licenses. Um, so the reason for to start with app development, all you need is system admin license, and you can get started building apps in your Salesforce. The licenses come into picture when you actually start assigning those apps to the users, and the users need to log in and access their information like their accounts, contacts, any other custom objects or apps that you built. If you are an admin, you probably already know about profile, permission sets, and security settings, and different sharing rules. So where does the licenses come into play? Actually, licenses needs to be taken care of or considered even before creating a profile or permission set, because when you are creating a profile, the system will ask you to enter a license type. What is the license you are building this profile for? The reason is that the not just the profile, but the license also controls what kind of objects your users are going to have access to. For example, if you want your users to access fully CRM functionality, meaning all the standard objects like account, contacts, opportunities, products, forecasts, then you won't be able to create a profile unless you have Salesforce license. When I say Salesforce license, meaning Salesforce type of license. These all are different Salesforce licenses, but I'm talking about this Salesforce license. So it really depends on what kind of objects you want your users to access, right? So let's jump right in, and I'm only going to talk about the licenses that I have used so far, and you can refer to this documentation and go through all the different licenses according to your need. So Salesforce license right here, that's like, I think it's the fully fledged license, and it gives access to all the full CRM functionality. You can have create your own objects and your own apps, and assign your users to those. So there is no limitation on this one. It gives you access to everything, at least the standard CRM functionality, and reporting and dashboards. So this is the most common type of license, I think, and most of the Salesforce platform that I've worked with use this kind of license. And then there are other licenses like knowledge only user, where they only need access to articles, chatter, anything related to knowledge only. And it doesn't mean, let's say if your users have a Salesforce license, does not mean you can't assign them a knowledge only user license. They are not one user can have access to one user can be assigned multiple licenses. All right. And I've never used identity or external identity, so I'm just gonna leave it to you to go through that documentation. But another important one is Salesforce platform license. Salesforce platform license is similar to Salesforce license, but it comes with a lot of limitations in terms of what objects you can use. So you cannot use all the standard CRM objects like forecast, leads, opportunities. Um, these licenses do not include those objects. And so let's say if you just want your users to use your custom apps and custom objects that you built, you don't necessarily need a Salesforce license for that. Salesforce platform license should be fine for those use cases. And I believe it's cheaper than the Salesforce license. And also, it's only available for these different types of editions. Um, it also comes with certain limitations around, I believe, report subscription. So you might want to look into different limitations before also deciding a license, because sometimes you might not be able to upgrade your license depending on what license you are in. So this is really the base of any app development. This is where you should start from in terms of any development. What's the license type? What's the profile? And first of all, which edition you are in. And also regardless of which license you are in, most of them are Lightning enabled. So licensing has nothing to do with whether you're Lightning or in Classic. All right. Another one more common is communities user licenses. And if you have an old Salesforce org, you might see something called portal licenses, and they are just similar to custom community licenses, customer community license, and customer community plus. I don't believe Salesforce does portal licenses anymore. They are just the older version of customer community license. Now, if you are building a community and you just want your users to access that community without having to log in, you don't necessarily need even a customer community license. If you just want them to have access to a site where they can get in, get access to all the knowledge base that you have, they don't need a license to do that. You need licensing when you want your users to actually log in and get access to their case, or track a case, create a case, and things like that. So that is when you will need to start thinking about customer community licenses. Excuse me. So customer community and customer community plus are very similar. Customer community plus is more advanced in terms of sharing, and that's a separate read. When you read, actually, that there's a documentation on customer community that explains very well the difference between these two. But in short, customer community lets the user get access to the case, contact, and log into the system, access their portal. And customer community plus also gives them access to reports and dashboards along with some advanced sharing feature. Partner community is a license that obviously your partners would use. Let's say you have some resellers that sell your products, so they need access to your accounts, your products, opportunities, contacts. Then you can create a partner portal or a partner community, and for the users to be able to log in, they need to be assigned partner community license. And these all the users that will access this community, they are called external users, and these three are the most common when it comes to community portal or customer community. I've never used Lightning external apps or apps plus, so I'm going to leave at that. Next one is Chatter user licenses. In Chatter, sometimes not all users necessarily need to log into the system and actually have access to accounts, contacts, all those objects, and any custom objects. Sometimes the users just need to be involved in a conversation. So that's when Chatter user licenses come into play, and you don't want to spend a full Salesforce licenses if they just need access to Chatter. So that's where you can use Chatter licenses, and there are different types. There's Chatter external, Chatter free, and Chatter only. Chatter only is basically also called Chatter plus, and it is a license which gives them some access to accounts, contacts, and some custom objects along with chatter. So this is like the most advanced type of chatter license. And chatter external are only for the users that are able to access the chatter. And that's it. They will not have access to any chatter objects or data. So I think that's all I had on terms of licensing. Please let me know if you have any other questions or any other request, any other videos that you want me to do. Thank you for watching.